9.3, and we're going to be solving matrix equations. We're going to do two problems, number 19 and 25 from exercise in 9.3. Matrix A is the following and matrix B is the following. And in 19 it says 2x plus A equals B, and your goal is to solve for x. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and treat this like any other equation and solve for x. Subtract A on both sides, so subtract matrix A. Now we have 2x equals B minus matrix A. And then the last thing we're going to do is divide by 2 and divide by 2. So now we have x equals, now if you try to use your calculator to plug in the matrices and say divide by 2, it's going to tell you an error because you cannot divide with matrices. So when we say divide by 2, that is the same as saying 1/2 times matrix B minus A. Pull the 2 out and write it as a half. So now if you wanted to, you could type matrix A and B into your calculators, and then you can tell your calculator what is B minus A. It will give you an answer, and then you can say times 0.5. And it will also give you an answer for matrix X. If we did it by hand, the first thing we got to do is find what is B minus A. So let's do this by hand. So B minus A. So remember, you're going to take the corresponding positions and subtract them. Be careful with your signs. So the first one we have -5 minus -3, and that gives us -2. And then we're going to keep going. -1 minus -7 gives us 6. And then 0 minus 2 gives us -2. 0 minus 9 gives us 9. 3 minus 5 gives us -2. And -4 minus 0 is -4. Now hopefully your B minus A matches mine. Then the next thing we're going to do is multiply each one of the elements by a half. So x, the matrix X, is going to be equal to, well, -2 times a half is -1. 6 times a half is 3. -2 times a half again is -1. 9 times a half is 4.5. -2 times a half again is -1. And then -4 times a half is -2. So the matrix X is -1, 3, -1, 4.5, and -1, -2. Now we're going to do the same thing in number 25. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and solve for x like it's any other equation. So divide by -2. Divide everything by -2. And remember, your calculator will not let you divide with matrices. So this is the same as saying -1/2 times 4a plus 3b. And that's going to give us matrix X. So the first thing we're going to do is find 4a. So off to the side over here, I'm going to say 4a. And that's going to be -12, -28, 8, -36, 20, and then 0. We also need 3b, so 3 times b. And that is -15, -3, 0, 0, 9, -12. Now we're going to take 4a and we're going to add it to 3b. So 4a plus 3b. And that'll give us -27, -31, 8, -36, 29, and -12. And then we're going to take this matrix and multiply it by -1/2, and that'll give us the matrix X. So -27 times -1/2 is 13.5. And -31 times -1/2 is 15.5. And then -8 times -1/2 is -4. -36 times -1/2 is 18. 29 times -1/2, -14.5. And then the last one, -12 times -1/2 is 6. And here is the matrix X. So when solving matrix equations, the first thing you should do is solve for your variable, like you typically do in the equation. Once you have the variable isolated, go ahead and start working with your matrices. Okay, so this will conclude our video for 9.3. Please email me if you have any questions.